Hi, gorgeous Geminis. How are you all? Thank you so much for listening in to your May horoscope. Now, it's going to be an interesting month full of divine messages if you are, in fact, listening to yourself, okay? So hopefully I can point you in a general direction, but really the ball is in your court because it is a time to look within and just try and figure out what upstairs is really trying to tell you in the month of May. Now, you have the Sun and Uranus in your 12th house of the subconscious, or the house of the goddess energy. And from the 4th of May, we have a new moon there. So that is a sign of new beginnings. New things will be coming up for you, and it'll be, the time of planting seeds, basically. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you're in spring, I believe, and if you're down here in Australia, then you're in autumn. So maybe a time of planting seeds that you can harvest later on to better and to improve your life, basically. Okay, so new moon in your 12th house of the subconscious, and it's there with the Sun and Uranus. Now, the Sun brings happiness, it brings contentment, it brings awareness of what is going on inside you. And Uranus is one of those unpredictable planets, like the most unpredictable planet. And hello, Aurora. Yes, so it's quite unpredictable. So you could be finding surprising things coming up in your dreams, and especially if you meditate, okay? And I would really recommend that you do. And if you say that you don't have time, if you just can do 10 minutes before you get out of bed, before you open your eyes or move your body, because as soon as you open your eyes or move a finger, that energy from the dream can be gone. So keep your body as still as possible. Yes, Gold Coast, Australia, that's where I am. Thank you, Aurora. Okay, so on the 7th of the month, Mercury moves into your 12th house, the same house. So that is all about communication. So that is a really good omen for you to find out what's really going on inside yourself. If you go down, it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. It can be quite rewarding. In fact, you might find hidden treasures that you've never seen before, new talents and abilities. So if you're interested in the psychic arts or the metaphysical world, you're going to be so much closer. The veils will be thinner and you'll be able to really get in touch with those energies in yourself. Oh, you're here on the Gold Coast. Oh, so you're from the Gold Coast. Okay, well, that's where I am too. So I thought you were saying hello to me. Hello, Gold Coast. Well, hello, Gold Coast. Okay, so the 18th, we have the full moon in your 6th house of health and everyday routine. So that brings changes, So I would say be a little bit circumspect, or maybe even cautious if you're thinking about doing some risky activities. Probably, the 18th is not a good time around the full moon. Just be a little bit circumspect and reflective of what's going on in your life. Now, the first half of the month, you also have Mars in your 1st house, which is all about you. You are the most important person in your universe, and particularly with Mars there, that gives you a lot of energy that's goal-directed. It gives you inspiration. It gives you, Mighty Mars gives you motivation. You want to get out there and do stuff. Now, at that same time, those first 2 weeks of the month, you could be a little bit conflicted because in one hand, in your 12th house, you've got all these planets, as I was saying before, Mercury, Venus, the Sun and Uranus in the 12th house, and then you've got Mighty Mars in the 1st house, and they're sort of opposites, So on one hand, you want to be goal-directed, you want to be active, you want to be getting out there and doing stuff, and then on the other hand, you want to be reflective, looking at your dreams, meditative, really going within. So this is where the fine line, the tightrope that you have to walk between being active and more passive. Okay. Uh, yes, so you're at surface. Oh, great. Is it different if you're a Gemini moon? If you're a Gemini moon, you should still pay attention to this because the moon is all about your subconscious. So if you have Gemini in your moon, in fact, if your moon is in Gemini, sorry, you're getting a double dose in the 12th house, Aurora. So this is like times 10 what I'm saying for you, if that makes sense. Okay, so, oh yes, and with the full moon there in your 6th house, some of you will be thinking about changing your job or your work, okay? Or if you don't do that, it could be a change in daily routine, your everyday organisation, the things that you normally do. So you might mix it up. If you normally go for a walk at 6 a.m, you might mix it up and change it to 6 p.m. or something like that. So there's certainly changes around. Now, then what happens is on the 16th, Mars goes into your 2nd house. Okay, so from the 1st house into the 2nd house. That's about your finances and also your value system. Times 10 what? What I'm saying is really applicable to you, Aurora. So that's what I mean by times 10. So I'm doing like a general read for the general population, but because you have your moon in Gemini, then this is going to be much more so for you. Yes, the 12th house is the house of the subconscious, okay, or the house of the divine, the house of the goddess. Okay, so Mars going in your 2nd house is then about your finances. So you might be really motivated to think about new ways that you can create money. Okay, so that's very exciting. Perhaps business opportunities you could go into or creative endeavors, some way that you could be doing things that you value. So it's about value systems, not just money. But for a lot of people, obviously, money is important when you live in, society, especially, or any society today, really. Money is important. It's not the only thing that's important, however. And sometimes we value ideals. We might value integrity. We might value hard work. We might value our families. So there's lots of other things that can be affected by that. Okay, 22nd of the month, Sun goes into the 1st house of your sign, which is all about your identity, who you are. You might find yourself feeling strangely happy or strangely content, which is pretty cool, with the Sun in there. So happy birthday for after the 22nd of the month, okay? Shine your light. The world wants to see who you are. Okay, so let's now have a look at these psychological cards for you for Gemini in May 2019, the vibe. I get some of you, I see a door closing. I get some of you closing off to the past, which is great. And the first card that comes out, letting go. So I know that probably appears back to front, but it actually says letting go. Okay, so that's the background card. Now let's have a look on the foreground for May, Gemini 2019. Gemini's, okay. And in my mind's eye, I see like putting your cards on the table, really expressing yourself, what you wish to say. Oh, okay. Well, this is very interesting. Okay, that looks like judgment. Someone is being judged. So I would suggest that this means letting go of judgment, okay? So both judging other people, but also, and probably more importantly, judging yourself, okay? Time to let go of self-judgment, okay? It's a big deal, self-judgment, and we do it all the time on so many different levels. That's the society we live in, unfortunately, and it's a thing that we need to look past, how somebody looks, or, what the initial vibe is. We need to look deeper into, other people perhaps. And, in this really busy time, we say, oh, well, we haven't got time, and make all these rash decisions. Okay, so letting go of judgment, which is a fantastic thing, and it'll leave you feeling much more free. Okay, anything else for Geminis? I can see like a tap dripping, and that would imply that there's some leaking emotions, that sometimes emotions, probably, don't have a full handle on it. They sometimes escape. Things come out of your mouth unexpectedly, and people can really see what's going underneath the surface. So just, remember that. Alrighty, I hope you have a wonderful, magical month, dear gorgeous Geminis. I would really appreciate if you like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you found this helpful in any way. But I will be back next month with more monthly horoscopes for you, and a lot of other different videos and things like that. So have a wonderful time, and I shall see you shortly again. Bye for now.